Anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. Money laundering conceals illegal gains from activities like drug trafficking, fraud, and terrorism, making them seem legitimate. Terrorism financing involves funding for terrorist acts or related activities, with funds from either legal or illegal sources. The Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001 or Republic Act No. 9160, as amended, is the primary AML/CTF law in the Philippines. It is an act defining the crime of money laundering and providing for its penalties to ensure that the Philippines is not used as a money laundering site. The Terrorism Financing Prevention and Suppression Act defines the crime of financing terrorism and its penalties. The Act criminalizes terrorism financing and its related offenses by preventing and suppressing its commission through freezing or forfeiture of assets. The Anti-Money Laundering Council. Chairman, BSP Governor. Member, IC Commissioner and SEC Chairman. 3 stages of money laundering. Placement. Funds generated from unlawful activities are deposited into a financial institution. Layering. The funds are transferred or moved into other accounts to further separate it from its unlawful origin. Integration. Funds are reintroduced into the economy by purchasing assets or funding criminal activities. Risk assessment. The company shall undertake an ongoing assessment of the money laundering and terrorism financing risk by considering the following key factors: product, transaction volumes, service types, sales channel, customer profile, high-risk customers, entity location, and high-risk jurisdiction matter. Know your customer. Minimum information requirements: full name, date of birth, place of birth, sex, citizenship or nationality, address, contact number or information, source of fund, specimen signature or biometric information, identification document. Customer due diligence. For low-risk customers, verification of customer may be done after establishment of business. For medium or average risk customers, submit minimum information requirements. For high-risk customers, requires submission of additional information and documents. Enhanced due diligence. Enhanced due diligence shall be applicable to the following: customers from high-risk jurisdiction or geographic locations, high-risk politically exposed persons, customers with adverse media screening, high-risk product categories. Review and update KYC information. Sing Life PH shall ensure relevant and up-to-date KYC data, documents and information so that we can identify changes to the customer's risk profile. When do we obtain updated KYC information? 1. Upon the occurrence of a trigger event, or 2. At least every 3 years, or as prescribed by AML rules. If a customer does not cooperate with a request, the company shall trigger suspension of further activity until requirements have been complied. Ongoing transaction monitoring. Scrutinize the transactions undertaken during the course of its relations. Ensure that the transactions are consistent with the customer risk profile. Risks can manifest after the initial CDD undertaken during the application stage and may require reclassification of risk profile. Detect and assess whether a customer's behavior poses suspicion when considered against their profiles and expected behavior. Regulatory reporting. Covered transaction report. Transaction above 500,000 pesos or a transaction, regardless of frequency of payment, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually or annually, where the total amount paid for a policy for the entire year exceeds 500,000 pesos. Suspicious transaction report. A transaction, regardless of amount, where the circumstances surrounding the transaction is unusual or suspicious. Any suspicious unsuccessful attempt to transact with Sing Life shall likewise be considered STR. Confidentiality and prevention on tipping off. No customer, employee, or other disinterested party shall be informed of the investigation report and its details. A written request must be sent to the compliance officer for assessment and approval of access. The compliance officer shall then evaluate the reasonableness of such request and render a decision in at least 5 working days. Name screening or sanctions screening. The process of checking the name of a customer, director, representative and employee if he/she is included in a sanctions list and identify if they are a designated person. Designated person refers to any person or entity designated as a terrorist, one who finances terrorism or a terrorist group under applicable UN Security Council (UNSC) resolutions. Screening is performed to prevent funds or assets from being made available for the benefit of a designated person and to identify PEPs, person from high-risk jurisdictions or with adverse news relating to money laundering and/or terrorism financing. Once identified, the company must freeze the customer's account, not deal with the individual/entity, file a return and submit an STR. Cooperation with IC, AMLC and other competent authorities. Freeze order blocks accounts to prevent transactions. Inquiry, AMLC investigates related accounts for unlawful activity. Asset preservation order protects assets during forfeiture proceedings. Regulatory directives, IC and AMLC combat money laundering and terrorism financing. Safe harbor provision. Directors, senior management, or employees won't face legal action for making reports in good faith as part of their regular duties, even if it doesn't lead to prosecution under AMLA or other Philippine laws. Roles and responsibilities. Directors. The board of directors is ultimately responsible in ensuring the company's compliance with the IC and AMLC laws, rules, and regulations. Senior management. The senior management is responsible for overseeing the day-to-day management of AML-TFP matters and ensure implementation of policies and programs within their respective units. Employees. Comply with the guidelines of IC and the AMLC. Report to senior management or to the compliance officer any AMLA/TFSPA violation within the company. Records keeping. Sing Life Philippines retains customer records for 5 years from the transaction date. If a court case is filed, they keep records until officially confirmed resolved, stored in original, certified, or electronic form.